Hey, I'm Robin, and welcome to the Radical Reviews Show on the Lazor Flashback channel. I think part of the reason why I love video games is 1. The countless great experiences I had with them growing up. I'm not just talking about the games themselves, but also the people I was with and the fond memories I have from those times. And 2, those rare games that I come across every so often that wins me over in some way. Mr. Moskeeto for the PS2 is one of those games. It was released in June 2001 in Japan by Sony and distributed a year later in North America and Europe by Eidos under its Fresh Games label. Kevin Gill, the head of Fresh Games, even stated that he wanted an international release of Mr. Moskeeto for the sole reason that it was quirky and odd. As a matter of fact, the reason Fresh Games was founded in the first place was to focus on releasing niche titles internationally. I have a tremendous amount of respect for what these guys did, but sadly the initiative only lasted 5 games. To be completely honest, I haven't tried any of their other titles, but I'm pretty sure that Mr. Moskeeto is the weirdest of the bunch. It's a game that's hard to describe because it's so far out there, so strange and bizarre that you do best to experience it firsthand rather than having someone explain it to you in a subpar review show. What? Starting up the game takes a while cause there's a lot of things to be aware of in this world, you know? Like the fact that this game contains scenes of explicit itchiness. Itchiness? Itchiness! When using insecticide, you should not only read the directions, but you should also follow them very carefully. I guess this game and I have something in common after all. We fucking suck at comedy. Okay, we're finally in, so let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to the home of the Yamada family. It's summer. Do you like summer? Summer drives people crazy. Take the tiny, harmless mosquito, for example. It doesn't have enough time to do much during its one precious short life. You may already realize that you are a mosquito. The insect that bites people and makes them feel that you naturally have to do. You have to suck blood.
What am I reading, a fucking book? What, did I accidentally pick up some kind of video game audiobook hybrid? This is a video game! I'm playing a fucking game! Okay, here we go. So, you play as who I can only assume is Mr. Moskeeto, and your primary goal is to suck enough blood to get through the winter. The victims in this case is the Yamada family. Kenichi, the dad, Rina, the daughter, and Kaneo, the mom. Where is she though? She should be... Fuck! You know, I hate mosquitoes as much as the next guy, but I think I'm pretty reasonable when saying these people do some fucked up shit to get rid of you. If covering yourself in bug spray doesn't work, why not install bug repellent lights all over your room? Yeah, good luck going to sleep with those on. Oh wait, she actually did. That's... fuck this! You could of course just tape mosquito coils to your head, cause that's definitely gonna do the trick! Or how about insecticide constantly spraying throughout the entire fucking house? These people apparently don't give 2 shits about their own well-being. Oh yeah, and they also know magic, cause the story here, and I use that term loosely, is no more complicated than, taking a dump. No, you know what? I take that back, cause taking a dump would actually require you to complete a series of tasks, such as pulling your pants down and flushing the toilet. Now, the story here is so simple that I could explain it in 1 sentence in under 6 seconds. Ready? Kaneo the mom wants to take a family photo, but Kenichi and Rina are hesitant for no apparent reason other than being dicks. There we go. The core gameplay is actually not that hard to grasp. You're a mosquito on a mission to suck blood. You go from stage to stage, increasing the difficulty until, well, the end. Now, mastering the controls, however, is where the challenge lies. The R1 button accelerates and L1 decelerate in reverse. Left stick moves the camera and right stick is for precision movements, which is actually totally backwards as for what we're used to now. Anyways, the right stick is also used for sort of speeding up by pushing the stick forward or backwards depending on how high or low you want to go. To top it all off, all the controls are of course inverted. And no, there's no option to change it, so fun times. Scattered throughout the rooms are these heart containers which you can collect to increase your health. You only need about 50 of them per extra heart, so that shouldn't take more than 5 weeks. Most levels also have 1 or 2 EX tanks, which basically means extra tank. You can gather these and fill them up with blood, which will probably do something at the end, but I don't fucking know, I didn't take the time to find all these. There's also a few objects that you can interact with to get people's attention, like this phone. This one is actually needed to progress through the level, but that's not always the case. Keep your aim at the phone and press the circle button to make Mr. Moskeeto here go flying towards it, and in some magical way, it makes it ring. Not only that, but there's even someone on the other end? What is he, a magician? And what this does is, usually it grants you a new opportunity to suck blood. Moving on. So what about the boss fights? Well, there is something called battle mode, which I guess can be considered as a form of a boss fight. You see, all the victims have a stress meter, and if they see you or if you suck their blood either too quickly or too slow, the victim's stress meter will increase. If it turns red while you're still sucking blood, you'll get swatted and you'll have to start the level all over. If it gets red as you're flying freely, you'll engage battle mode. At this stage, they're aware that you're in the room and they'll accordingly try to kill you. To end battle mode, all you need to do is dodge their attacks and hit the red pressure points on their bodies. Hit them all and the victims go back to their old routine and you can finish your mission. If you end battle mode in each level within a given time, you'll also gain new colors that you can switch between. This is purely a cosmetic change, so it doesn't affect the gameplay in any way. I personally don't view these as bosses though, as you don't necessarily need to fight them. In most cases, you can easily retreat before the meter turns red. In my opinion, level 9, 10 and 11 are the real boss fights. This is where things get out of control and it gets pretty challenging, but not to the point where you feel like you're wasting your time, at least not in my experience. It just ups the challenge to a different level.
What makes the game so amazing to me personally isn't just the unique gameplay though. It's the voiceovers and dialogue.
There is some hilariously bad voice acting here.
You must be kidding.
And of all the people, the father is by far the worst. Meaning best, of course.
I'll definitely swat you next time!
What was that?
I'll definitely swat you next time!
Is that fucking... was that a word? Was that words coming out of your mouth? Cause I don't think so!
Wow, this is the first time that I've seen your room.
I'm just gonna get something to drink.
All right, I'll just stay here.
Some of the dialogue is written in such a way that I honestly don't know if it was intended to be funny or not. But who cares? I mean, as long as I'm laughing, that's all that matters.
That makes me feel a lot better!
There's not a huge selection of music here, seeing as the game isn't that large. But they definitely knew how to create variety. You get everything from jazz to rock to cinematic adventure music. Now, don't get me wrong, most of these don't belong in this game by any means, but I feel the need to point out that the cinematic soundtracks especially sounds pretty damn good. If you close your eyes and imagine you're playing a Japanese RPG, it really does fit perfectly. Then you open your eyes and realize you're playing a game where you're sucking on some girls' tits? What the hell, Japan? Come on! This is...
So good.
so wrong.
So good.
So, where was I? Oh yeah, the music. The soundtrack is very, okay. 6 pieces of soap out of 12. Another thing that I really like is the tiny details that you might not think of or even realize at first glance. Like the little window that pops up of Mr. Moskeeto when you suck blood. And the fact that as he sucks, he gains mass, increasing in size and making it harder to break when you're out flying. It makes you aware of your mission and forces you to plan out your moves.
Mr. Moskeeto is a short and fun game, but that doesn't mean that it's not flawed. For instance,
As I stated earlier, the controls are inverted, which will take some time to get used to and even longer to master. But them being inverted isn't the issue in itself. I mean, who am I to judge? There's gotta be at least 23 people out there who enjoys playing like this. It's the fact that there's no option to change it that defines this as a flaw the way I see it. I guess reading comic books isn't the only thing they do backwards in Japan? Sorry. And as funny as the cutscenes may be, they get very old very quickly when you keep dying on certain levels and are forced to watch them again and again on every retry. I know it sounds picky, but hearing the same dialogue over and over kind of puts a damper on the fun. There really is no excuse, as this could easily have been avoided by adding a skip button. One thing that was starting to become a pain in the ass was the constant colliding. It can be really unpredictable, and you'll find yourself crashing into objects that are just nowhere near you. I've even experienced colliding when there's nothing in front of me at all. To be fair though, it's often my own fault for being a terrible pilot over here, but there's no denying that the game is acting up from time to time.
Okay, so this is the part where I give a little insight in how the game ends. But I mean, do you guys really need a spoiler alert for this one? There's not really that much story going on in the first place. But yeah, I guess if you guys want to experience the ending yourself, just click the button right here to skip them. Skip the spoilers, I mean. If you click this button, there's not going to be any spoilers. That's... But now it's too late, so yeah, let's get on with it.
The last 4 stages are all part of the endgame. In stage 9, you'll fight Kineo, the mother. The whole thing is essentially a slightly more advanced battle mode. To beat her, you need to hit all the red pressure points. After that, a yellow pressure point will appear right as she's about to perform her special attack. Hit that one and she passes out, giving you the opportunity to suck some blood. Getting her to fall down is easier said than done though. You need to have perfect aim and even more perfect timing. I recommend that you just stay on top of this drawer and try until you get it. It might take a while, but it's definitely worth the trouble just to see her fall on her back and break her fucking spine.
Too much?
Sometimes it gets frustrating, you know? Sorry. Level 10 and 11 is basically the same thing. Level 10 you fight Rina. I used the same tactic like last time. Hit the pressure point, stay in one spot and wait for the yellow one to get her down. In level 11 you fight Kineo, the father, and again it's the same.
Fuck! Never mind, this guy is hard as balls. Here's what you gotta do.
If you touch anything, you lose health, so that's a no-no. When Kineo's charging his special attack, hide under the table or somewhere else. You'll still lose half a heart, but if you're out in the open, you're fucked. Other than that, it's the same deal. Hit the pressure points and wait for the last yellow one. If you can get him down, you should be fine. Now that all 3 have passed out, there's one last level where you roam the house gathering as much blood as possible from each victim. This time the clock is ticking down, but it really shouldn't be an issue. You have more than enough time to finish the level. And that's it. The end. Okay, so there's one last cutscene of the 3 of them finally taking that picture, but it's nothing spectacular.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. That's the ending. And like I said, is that really worthy of a spoiler alert? I sure didn't think so.
As you might have picked up on, I really don't care for the story in this game. It wasn't the driving force that made me want to complete it. What kept me going was the levels and the characters. I wasn't at all curious as to how the game ended, I just wanted to know what crazy shit was waiting behind every corner on the way there. And if you're interested in giving this game a try, I truly believe that's how you should play the game too. With no expectations, but merely a curious mind.
Also, if you're looking for the NTSC version of this online, remember that it's called something totally different in the US. Instead of looking for Mr. Moskeeto, you should be looking for Mr. Moskeeto. Why?
Following its decent reception in Japan, the developers felt the need to continue the franchise. And so, Ka 2 was made. Ka is the Japanese title, by the way. Now, this game is actually split into 2 parts. One that focuses on the Yamada family as they go on vacation to Hawaii, and the other on a new American family, the Browns. The Yamada family now speaks Japanese, so the poor English is gone. And they actually got real American voiceovers for the Brown family.
Peace has returned to our home, and we can live without fear or discomfort. We'll never see it again.
Hey,
I think we should get going soon. They should be arriving.
You're right. Let's leave right now.
What? I said the poor English is gone, not the poor voice acting.
The ironic thing is, it's a Japanese-only release. Why bother with getting English voiceovers for a game that was never sold overseas? Well, apart from authenticity, but there's not really a need for authenticity in a game like this. It's a shame we didn't get this over here, but I get why that was the case. Anyways, to my understanding, the gameplay is pretty much the same as in the first one, although they did add the ability to suck blood from any given part of the victim's body and some sort of skill system, which actually sounds pretty cool.
Look, Mr. Moskeeto is no masterpiece, that's not what I'm getting at. I mean, when is it ever really? The odds of finding a real hidden gem is probably as likely as going outside and digging up a real treasure chest in your backyard right now.
Games being as important a topic as it has become these last 5 years or so, there can't really be that many undiscovered gems out there. Also, people have different tastes, so this is probably trash to some people. But you know what they say, one man's garbage is another man's potato. Potato? Wait, what? I think that a lot of people dismiss it, thinking it's a low-budget bargain bin game, when in reality it's a pretty unique, interesting, and certainly underrated PS2 title. Trust me when I say it's a fresh gameplay experience, no pun intended, and it's full of weird Japanese humor. Top that off with so bad it's good voice acting, and you've got yourself a diamond in the rough. Not a huge one, and maybe a bit hollow, but a diamond nonetheless.
Hey guys, I just wanted to make this kind of short, unscripted ending to the video, I guess. Just basically wanted to let you guys know that I'll be doing radical reviews on a monthly basis. So yeah, hopefully that's good news. The last video took me about 3 to 4 months to get together in total, but yeah, I mean, I didn't really know where I was going with the video at the time. Yeah, so I just worked on it whenever I felt like it, and when I finished it, I came up with this name, or this show called Radical Reviews, and that's the show that I'll continue doing. So yeah, if you checked out my last video, thank you so much, and if you didn't, there's a link right here. If you didn't see it, you can click that and go check it out right now. So yeah, but anyways, Shanks, thank you, Shanks? Thanks for checking out this video, and hopefully if you like the content, you'll check out my future videos, I guess.